Hey guys, it's Quinn from KQTUH here with GamingNavi, and we are doing our next edition to Seven Circles of Sandler.
Oh, goody.
Today we decided to get together and watch You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
That was fun.
That was fun? Question mark? Question mark? I'd like to say. Where do we start?
Well, let's talk about them sins.
No, actually, you know what? Let's introduce. Actually, now that you mention it, I do have two things to say. So, one, this is one of the few Sandler films that has the most mixed reception. Like, a lot of people say they really like it. Other people say, no, this isn't for me. And one of our personal favorite YouTubers, Nostalgia Critic, does say that they like this, that he likes this one a lot. For instance. And the other thing is the plot. So
this movie is about a counterterrorist agent
from Israel,
Zohan in Israel, fighting against the Palestinian Empire, as they keep fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And he's the best that ever was, but wants to cut hair. So he fakes his own death in combat and goes to America to try and become a hairdresser. Racism shuts him off, so then he's introduced to more racism in Racism Town, and then Racism Town gives him a job as to sweep up hair, and then one day he gets the opportunity to cut hair, gets to cut hair, super happy, but then, how do I put this? Shit gets racist. Have I mentioned that this movie is racist yet?
Should we? I think once we start, narrowing down our 7 circles that we found for this movie, we should get into that part. Because I feel like, yeah, you know what? Now that we mentioned the plot, we should get started right onto the 7 circles.
Yeah, because that is the plot. He wants to cut hair, and also, did I mention his parents don't like the idea of him cutting hair and want him to be a soldier?
Yeah, well, they're more supportive of him being a counter-terrorist agent.
And when he says he wants to do things that aren't killing people, they then say, oh, you can go to the States and work at your cousin's electronics store.
And they call him a fagala too, which is kind of in Hebrew, I mean, correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, guys, but in Hebrew, I think it's supposed to be a slang term in Hebrew for, like... Honestly, you know what, I'm going to stop there because I don't want to make any assumptions. But it was definitely offensive. That's kind of the part where I was trying to get towards. But that does not hold a candle to the rest of the movie. So, because Zohan is an action quote-unquote comedy, we're going to do an action game.
Yeah, so we chose Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Alright, let's get down to the 7 circles.
So let's start with the sin. Let's go from least descending. Let's go from
Should
best
we go
case
from
scenario to worst. We'll go in descending order. So we have homophobia with 0.
Yeah, we didn't really have one for that, so it's not really counted.
And then we have punching down at level 1 because...
Yeah, because, well, first off, his parents were, naturally disapproving of him wanting to go to the United States to become a hairdresser.
Yeah.
I mean, to become a hairstylist. And, yeah, I mean, while it was there, it wasn't really that offensive, but it was still enough. It was still offensive enough to have a level 1 spot.
Yeah.
Next one.
The next one we have product placement at level 2.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of Middle Eastern drinks and food, and I guess hummus.
Well, they throw hummus a lot, but then again, there are a bunch of, different... Like, hummus can be distributed from anyone. There's, a lot of companies that serve their own type.
I mean, yeah, but it is a lot of hummus.
Lots of hummus. Yeah, we also had some... I know. I just kind of like to, go along the list as we're doing this. So, let's see what's next on the circles.
Next on the sins, okay. Then we have the writing, which we discussed. It was...
Level 3.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, with the... Well, we kind of like, where it started off with Zohan, like... the action scenes...
Yeah, when it's doing the action stuff and it's doing all this ridiculous bullshit, it's amazing. But when it's trying to do the rom-com shit, it's too filled with racism and...
Well, we're not at that part yet,
I know, but still. It's part of the writing and the plot. Don't deny it.
Yeah, the writing...
that's its own sin, but still.
So yeah, I kind of also want to point out, just how, how it flew. How the character relationships and building went. Yeah. Along the way, Zohan, gets a job at this, a hair salon on the Palestinian side of that little market area. Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about it as we go along.
I'm just doing something to keep things going on the screen.
Yeah, why not? So, yeah, she meets this lady who owns a rundown, salon. That's where he starts building up, his career as a stylist. And I kind of had a bit of a...
It loses all the action parts of the movie at that point, so it's no longer an action comedy. It's now...
a romantic... Not really, it's...
Because he gives the sex to all the women's, and then he realizes he's in love with his boss, and then... Yeah, that already breaks like a couple workplace laws as it is, but no one sees any problem because they're a minority.
Yeah, and then so... Yeah, as they're going along, when they're walking into the park after he develops a reputation at the salon, so, they're talking and everything, she says, "Oh no, you know what, we're not going to be a thing." So, but you hear the little piano music playing in the background, which tells the audience, these guys are obviously going to be a couple. Yeah. And then she keeps going saying, no, there's no bang bang with us.
But the attitude and the magic is still there. It's clear what's going to happen. It's a Sandler rom-com. It's cliche as fuck.
Yes, and then
even when Sandler tries to make an action movie, it still somehow finds a way to become a rom-com.
Yeah,
let's think about that.
Yeah, let's talk about how the writing plays into the comedy. We've got the silly little action stuff at the beginning, but then all of a sudden we see, Zohan is chopping up the gun.
Yeah, there are some good jokes in there. When he's fighting the Palestinians in the beginning of the movie, a guy points a gun at him in his back, he turns around, and it starts just disassembling the gun right there in front of his eyes. And it's hilarious.
He gets shot in the face, and the bullet ends up in his nostril for some reason.
And blows it out, it's amazing. Kids throw rocks at him, he takes them all, and then somehow, through pure Zohanity, just fuses them all to look like a balloon animal.
Yeah. And there's no explanation for the physics.
He and his rival, the Phantom, they meet up, and then they try and compare who can't feel pain. So, Phantom takes a product, attaches it to his neck, like, I feel no pain. Zohan takes product, shoves it down his pants, I feel no pain. And, there's some funny gags every once in a while.
Yeah, it's...
But
after this fight, I'm gonna kind of explain a little more.
Yeah, there's opportunity for humor, but
it's not really funny though. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. After this fight, I'm gonna explain a little more into the writing of comedy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's just I feel like I have a lot to say. We have a lot to say for this movie. We just have this in the background, just to add our little creative twist to these reviews. But at the same time, I feel like for this particular movie, we're gonna need a little more concentration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is for fun.
Yeah, this is to get us some sanity after what we just witnessed.
Yeah.
So
obviously there's the unrealistic physical humor.
I'll switch to final fight so we can have some other type of action going on.
So as we're doing that, Zohan, chops up the gun, he gets shot in the face, only to have the bullet in his nostril. He kicks through walls, which is awesome. Yeah. But then in the next scene, we see Phantom is literally on the ceiling for some reason.
Yeah, he's just up there, no reason for it, but he just is. And he's walking. It's not like you could see a rope or anything. He's just running up on the ceiling because he can do that.
And he jumps through the window as if the laws of gravity and physics were just flipped upside down, and he jumps through the wall.
Because, people can do that.
Right? And then and then just obviously the whole dancing with your genitals thing.
Yeah, that's a freak, that just frequents the entirety of the movie.
Yeah, and then later on, once he gets settled to the United States, he uses his tongue to untwist the nail to get himself out.
Yeah.
So, that way...
Also, how he illegally broke into America was stupid.
Very stupid.
How the fuck did that happen? Did that even work? I don't
know. Just... customs... Yeah. Just laws of gravity, laws of physics, laws of realism be damned in this movie. But then further on is what I was going to say. Later on, how he gets his reputation, because he's the handsome, attractive guy. Earlier, it's established, that he is a ladies' man who ends up, banging a lot of,
younger
girls.
Women, and then later at the salon.
But for some reason,
Wouldn't that go in the lowbrow humor, though?
Well, yeah, we're going to transition into the lowbrow humor from the writing with this. So, he develops an attraction to middle-aged to elderly women.
I think it's any woman, but for some reason they only got... I think it was just any woman.
Yeah,
but for some reason all the younger women dropped out after the beginning of the movie. They could only get somewhat older women.
Yeah, for some reason that just becomes a thing. It's like, okay,
and
so
Barrymore clearly didn't want to be attached to this movie. Good on her.
Yeah, probably a wise move on her part. But
we don't even know if she was even offered a role. We just don't. I just made a joke because she's in a lot of things that Sandler does.
Yeah, I kind of want to get to just the whole idea. It's like, hey, Adam Sandler's or Zohan is having sex with older women later in the film. It's like,
we've already explained the plot, we explained the writing. Now we can go
Let's transition to the
lowbrow humor, which has a sin stat of 40.
It's bad. 40. The lowbrow humor. Yo, you thought it was going to be 3, but nope. It actually managed to be so bad, it escalated to a whopping level 40.
Because, wow.
Holy shit.
This is just with sex, for the record, because he does it with every woman he sees. Whenever he sees someone, there's always, I would like to put my stiff in her. There's always some comment about sex. He just meets a woman, and it's like, I'm going to make the sex with you, don't you worry. You are a beautiful woman, you get the stiff.
Yes, jokes like that, and slang in both English and Hebrew. Ugh. It was disturbing. Like, anytime he meets a woman, every time he meets the opposite sex.
His best friend character in the movie, he gets to stay with his mom, and the guy walks into, after they eat, he walks into his mom's room to ask her where detergent is, and he sees Zohan banging his mom. It's a borderline softcore porn.
Yeah.
If we even got to see the makeout. We saw the uncut version.
We did.
Apparently the sex wasn't even good enough to be put on the screen.
Yeah, and there is a bunch of scenes where he bangs, the guy's mom.
I'm pretty sure that's just half the movie. You mean just the mom.
Yeah. Also, I want to make one more comment about the writing. The whole him being called Scrappy Coco.
Oh yeah, his name in the movie is Scrappy Coco, by the way.
Yeah, because when he was sneaking his way to the United States, he was bogged with, or he was actually set up with 2 dogs. One of them was named Scrappy, the other one was named Coco. I mean, I get it, but that's really a stupid name.
For some reason, he also does the dog's hair.
But I gotta be honest, that name was really stupid. But then again, that doesn't really hold a candle to to the stupidity of the rest of the film. Moving on. Lowbrow humor.
Oh, yeah, so it's all the sex that we mentioned.
Yeah, we mentioned the sex scenes.
It doesn't even just go to sex. He's always moving his cock.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about Adam Sandler's cock. But that movie is basically like, hey, do you have a wet dream for Adam Sandler? Here you go, here's your porn. It constantly gyrates and will haunt my mind and my dreams.
Mine too. And at the beginning, we actually we were forced to watch a bunch of scenes of where you get to see his ass, just right on the screen.
We thought Tommy Wiseau's ass was bad, but
nope.
In the first few
minutes,
he catches a fish in that ass.
And isn't this a year after The Room? Maybe. The Room was in 2003, I believe.
Maybe this was 2005.
I mean, it was either 4 or 5.
It was racist. It doesn't matter.
Let's transition into that. And that.
Yeah, it brings us to Stereotypes now. Where,
Well, this is the ultimate transition. This is, here we go, to the biggest, most painful part, the most painful circle of You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh.
Stereotypes. Holy fucking Ugandan Sanic the Fuck Chungas Among Us.
Everyone is racist. Because if you're white, you are either... Most of the white characters in the movie are racist bigots. And the white guy who isn't... Well, okay, except some of the
roommates.
Yeah. Who aren't celebrity cameos, by the way. Also, for some reason, George Takei was in the movie.
For some reason, they just threw him in there because, hey, you know, he's popular, right?
Yeah, and there's lots of racist things going on. Like, there's a hacky sack game. There's lots of Israeli foods and stuff. Either one is either Israeli or they're Palestinian. And it's just...
painful. Take it from someone who is a Bachelor of Arts graduate with international studies. That was torture. Extremely racist to this guy, like, to no limits.
It's just me as the guy I'm fighting on this side looks like Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You be careful. People in Happy Madison cannot be trusted.
Oh yeah, this movie was made by Happy Madison. I bet you couldn't tell.
So if there's anything we know, like about, where was I going with this? Like this is on the subject of satire in the hands of Happy Madison.
You're talking about how you graduated, like about your graduate and how this was all super racist and affected you.
Yes. So before we went into this movie, I had the assumptions that another film of Sandler's, The Ridiculous Six, was the most offensive and racist of them all. But this one just took it to a whole bunch of levels. And this was in... Hang on, I'm going to put that to rest. This was made in 2000... You don't maybe. Mess with the Zohan. In Japan, it's called Agent Zohan.
And for some reason, I think that's just slightly better.
Okay, this was 2008, apparently. So this is 5 years after The Room.
Okay, wow.
2008. And this is supposed to be satire. So yeah, where I was going with this was... Yeah, so if we know anything about Happy Madison, do not go to them if you want some legitimate, well-thought-out satire.
Wasn't Happy Gilmore a Happy Madison production?
Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison were the two films that end up, serving as the basis for the title of their production company, Happy Madison.
That's what we'll need to see sometime on the show.
Yes, that's one of the ones in the future, but yeah. Until then, I thought The Ridiculous, you couldn't get any more racist than in 2015 with The Ridiculous Six.
But,
But this film was relentless. Like, they thought, hey, you know what, this stuff needs to be talked about. There's, we're being satirical about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. No, there was nothing satirical about this film. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've studied the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in college. This is just the producers being borderline racist because one, they don't know what the meaning of satire is, and two, this is repetition of tired out stereotypes.
I wonder, who wrote this film? Let's pull out that DVD case and let's get ourselves an answer. Let's see.
Written by Adam Sandler, Robert Smigel, who voiced the dog in Little Nicky, and is Insult the Comic Dog, or something the Insult Comic Dog, and Judd Apatow. Three writers.
Judd Apatow.
Produced by three people, including Adam Sandler. Produced by Adam Sandler, written by Adam Sandler, starring Adam Sandler. Directed by Dennis Dungan, who's basically the director for almost all the Happy Madison films. Ugh. No, the way they were represented, it's not satirical at all. It's just borderline racist to no limit.
Yeah.
Like the Middle Eastern characters, like both from the Israel part and the Palestine parts, they were speaking, like, whenever they talked in English, it would be in these really offensive spoonerisms.
Yeah.
We had subtitles on.
Yeah, and
Just in
we couldn't
case.
get something. We couldn't get everything translated. That's how bad it would be. That the movie still wouldn't tell us what certain lines were supposed to be. Just consider that.
Oh. Which reminds me, guess what? No surprise, Rob Schneider's in it, and he plays a Palestinian character.
That's on the back of the box, actually. They advertised that.
And he was naturally, speaking in the Spoonerisms. And it was just painful to watch.
You know, it was almost hard to tell. I almost didn't recognize him from the last role we saw him in 50 First Dates.
Yeah, 50 First Dates, yeah.
Because it's almost the same thick accent. It's a different. Last time he sounded a bit more peppy. Now, this time it was definitely like with the intention of being racist.
Which was horrible.
Yeah. Never do anything to be racist.
Ugh.
And that's a given, but I feel sad I have to try and say that.
Yeah, and it only gets worse, too, as the years go on. Like, if you thought, Zohan, obviously, like, the producers of this movie, including Adam Sandler, just did not write this with, any idea of what satire, really means. But it only gets worse with later films that we're probably going to cover. I think we pretty much are going to cover.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, for our next film, we should do The Ridiculous Six. One of Sandler's first few Netflix films. Yeah, I know, but I kind of want to compare, see how, racist that is and compare to Zohan, decide which of the two is the most offensive. But hey, think about it. The Ridiculous Six is the only one that got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You sure we can't find a good Adam Sandler movie to watch next? We're sure we just want to do a marathon of the bad ones? We don't want to find something good?
Yeah, true to be honest. So back to the stereotypes. I feel like we're missing something.
Hacky sack with a cat.
Hacky sack with the cat. The constant usage of hummus in everyday life.
He puts out fire with hummus.
He puts out fire with hummus at the end of the film. He brushes his teeth with hummus. He
uses it as a hair care product.
Hair care product for conducting haircuts with his clients. And then there's that commercial that of the restaurant chain that Phantom has after he supposedly kills Zohan.
And it's all just even more talking or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but it just goes on and on and on and on and on. It does not take a break. And there's nothing satirical about it.
It's all done with the intention of being racist. Like, you can say, oh, well, it was meant to be satirical.
No.
Satirical about putting out a fire with hummus.
No. What? So, all in all, should we conclude it? Like,
yeah,
all in all, let's sum it up. Yeah, you don't mess with the Zohan appears on a lot of guilty pleasures puts on a lot of people's guilty pleasure lists.
I'd say maybe put this guilty pleasure on two conditions. One, you're not watching the uncut version like we did, because I don't even know what was cut out for the retail version.
Well, please forgive us if that's not the case, guys.
Yeah, and then also watch it with friends.
Yeah.
First time I watched this, I watched it alone. I trusted Nostalgia Critic too much. Was like, okay, he says it's good. I'll believe him on this.
Yeah, as we're fans of Nostalgia Critic's work, we trusted the idea that, he said he really likes this movie and that it's funny and should be something to consider. We heavily relied on that opinion.
Yeah, so I went in, so I picked the movie up for a couple bucks, thinking, okay, this should be fun. And it's because of this is why we were so taken by surprise with all the extreme offensive racism and toilet humor that is just laid on so thick as hell, as just about as thick as hair gel. Oof, that's a good way to end this review, actually. I don't even want to say anything else. That's just a really good way to end this review. Yeah, I mean, just all in all, it's a really stupid film, but...
Stupid is a compliment. This was...
It's...
more than stupid.
I'd like to... It's one of the most racist films I think we could ever, come across. I really don't want to say it wasn't as punishing as Hotel Transylvania was, but it was still severe, and to the point where we had to, recover and recoup our thoughts together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm, not doing the multiplayer stuff. It's just we feel like we had a lot to get
He
out
had
of
a
this
lot
film.
on his mind, so you know what? He needs to be able to think about it.
Yeah, I feel like we need to, give out all our thoughts while we're doing this, because we're basically freebirding all of our opinions with these videos.
Yeah, this is all improv. None of this is scripted.
But we're doing it for fun, despite how cringeworthy and bad the film is. So this is one of this
And we have about
joins.
69 seconds.
That is funny. So yeah, this film joins in with a lot of This film joins in that list with films like Hotel Transylvania, where it has the most mixed reception of all of his films together. People either love it or hate it for their own reasons, and we respect all everyone's opinion on what they have on certain subject matters.
Sure.
But this is just, us sharing our opinions and, see what you guys think. But You Don't Mess with the Zohan was just way too offensive for our sanity.
Yeah.
So I think next...
I don't know. We'll find something good next. Either that or we're doing the great Ridiculous 6. I don't know.
I feel like, maybe we should get Ridiculous 6 out of the way just to compare, how racist it is. Because, this one got mixed reviews, but Ridiculous 6 got straight up panned. And said to be one of the most hated reviewed films in Netflix history, and bombed in views.
Yeah.
But we're just going to have to see for ourselves. But thank you guys for watching, and we're sorry you had to watch us suffer through... Well, technically you didn't, but we're sorry
You
to
didn't
hear
watch
us
us, you heard us. You heard about our suffering.
for this movie.
We're gonna watch or play something good now.
Yeah,
We're gonna do something that it makes us feel happy things.
but we also do, take a lot of fun and, help, sharing our thoughts, and, we just want to see what you guys think.
We'll see y'all next time. Yeah.
Ciao!